Okay, so the NRL has had some, in fact, the sporting world has had some pretty sad news with the passing of former North Queensland Cowboys head coach Paul Green earlier this week at the age of just 49. Very, very unexpected, very untimely passing. It's had a huge impact on the game in Australia, and Paul Green himself had a massive impact on the game in Australia. More so as a coach than as a player, I will admit. However, his playing career is very, very interesting. He did play in that solitary Super League season for Cronulla. He did play in that solitary grand final. He also played for the Queensland State of Origin Super League side and the Australia Super League side as well in that Rebel 97 season. His career is very, very interesting. It spans the old Australian Rugby League, New South Wales Rugby League competition, the Super League, and the early years, the first 6 years of the NRL. His coaching career, we'll discuss that as well. Fantastic coaching career, both as a head coach and as an assistant at senior level, at first grade. And let's delve in. Let's do Paul Green some justice, shall we? So in '94, he is signed by the Cronulla Sharks from the East Tigers, who play in the Brisbane Rugby League competition at the time. And this is in the build-up to the Super League War. So sides are choosing which league to play for. Rugby League in Australia is in flux at this time. So in the old New South Wales Rugby League, which would become the Australian Rugby League, Cronulla are playing, and then they go into the Super League for the 97 season. He would stick with Cronulla throughout this very turbulent period between 94 and 98, where he would play a grand total of 95 games. He would score 24 tries from the half-back position, kick 3 penalties or conversions at goal, for a grand total of 102 points. He does play as part of that Super League Grand Final side in 1997, and he plays the first season of the NRL in 1998. So this is where his career spans those three competitions. He then signs with the North Queensland Cowboys for the 99 season. In total, he plays a grand total of 35 games. He scores 7 tries and therefore is 28 points scored. Now, in his time at the North Queensland Cowboys, they pretty much sack him in his second season for talking to other clubs and trying to negotiate contracts, which he won in a court battle. He did actually win that. So his first spell at North Queensland, as a player at least, ends squiffly, so to speak. Doesn't end on a good note. He plays only 35 games there, and his time in North Queensland is over. He decides to sign with the Sydney Roosters for the 2001 season. And he is actually part of the squad, although he doesn't play most of the 2002 season because of injury. That wins the grand final and the Premiership in 2002. In total, injury does restrict his appearances at this point. He plays a grand total of 20 games, he scores 6 tries, and he kicks his only field goal in his career as a Sydney Rooster for a grand total of 25 points. After the 2002 grand final and Sydney winning, he signs with Parramatta. Unfortunately, injury keeps him to just 7 games in the Parramatta Eels squad of 2003. And this is where injuries are starting to decimate his career now. It's completely fallen off a cliff. 2004, he signs with the Brisbane Broncos and he plays 5 solitary games. So the last couple of seasons he's a player. The last 3 seasons he's playing, injury has completely wrecked his career at this point. So his professional first grade career is 10 seasons. The last 3 seasons are pretty much a write-off. His last season in North Queensland is a write-off because of contract dispute, which he took to court, and he wins his court case, which is very, very, very important. Now, his representative career. Between 1998 and 2000, he was part of the Queensland State of Origin side. He played 7 times in that Origin team, winning 2 series in 98 and 99, and losing the 2000 series. For a grand, he scored 1 solitary try as a rep player. He doesn't score a single try on the 97 Super League Queensland side or the 97 Australia Super League touring side that toured the UK. So his rep career, yes, he's part of a winning Queensland team in 98 and 99, but for the most part, not really much to write home about there. It's his coaching career. So he starts as an assistant at the Brisbane Broncos, where they win the 2006 Premiership, with him as an assistant under Wayne Bennett. He then coaches the Wynnum Manly team in the Brisbane competition as a head coach, before coming back and as assistant to the Sydney Roosters in 2013, where he wins his second Premiership as an assistant. And then And then something changes. In 2014, he signs with the North Queensland Cowboys. And this is a very, very successful, their most successful spell is with Paul Green as head coach. So he signs in 2014. By 2015, they are winning the grand final against Brisbane in one of the best grand finals I've ever seen. And in 2017, he coaches them back to the grand final as surprise underdogs, dark horses. They weren't expected to make that grand final. They get in a finals run and they go all the way to the grand final, where they are easily swept aside by the Melbourne Storm. But he manages to coach North Queensland to 2 grand finals. Now, their form following the 2017 grand final, it's not as good. He does end up getting sacked by the North Queensland Cowboys in 2020 before being appointed Queensland head coach in State of Origin in 2021. That will be the series that will be remembered for those 2 heavy defeats in the first 2 games. Now, they do win Game 3, but he doesn't get his contract renewed, and that is his last coaching job is with Queensland last year. But let's have a look at his achievements, really. So as a player, he wins the Rothmans Medal in 1995. He did win the 98 and 99 State of Origin series with Queensland. He was a 2002 NRL Premiership winner with the Sydney Roosters, even though he didn't play in that grand final because of injury. He was part of that squad. As an assistant coach, as I say, he won the Premiership as an assistant with Brisbane Broncos in 2006. And in 2013 with the Sydney Roosters. But as a head coach, this is where there are some fantastic bits of silverware. So his first actual games as North Queensland head coach with the Cowboys was the Auckland Nines in 2014, which they win. Following year, the Premiership, the NRL, with the Cowboys, which they win. The World Club Challenge in 2016, yep, they win that as well. And the start of his last season with the Cowboys, they win the NRL Nines in the COVID-disrupted 2020 season before the season kicks off. You have the Nines competition in pre-season. So, North Queensland, all their silverware that they have ever won have come with Paul Green as their head coach. And Todd Payton's doing a very, very good job with the team right now. And they're battling to be minor premiers as I'm recording this video. They are a few points behind Penrith. Couple of games. Penrith have that buffer, but they're battling with the Cronulla Sharks and the Penrith Panthers for the minor premiership as things currently stand. They can still do it, but all their success has come with Paul Green as head coach. Now, his win percentage, obviously, with Queensland is 33.3 recurring percent because he only won 1 out of 3 Origin games last year. But this is really interesting. With the North Queensland Cowboys, he coached 167 games in the NRL. Won 87 of them, no draws, 80 defeats, with a win percentage of 52%. So he won more than he lost with the North Queensland Cowboys. In the last few seasons he was there were some tough seasons. They didn't really adequately replace Jonathan Thurston. They had that lack of a clear leader. Taumalolo is obviously the focal point in the forward pack. They didn't have a dominant halfback. Now, the situation's changed under Todd Payton, but to be fair, the structure's in place at North Queensland, their youth system. They've found some great young talent that's now coming through under Todd Payton. And I think you have to credit Paul Green and his coaching setup for putting those structures in place. And as I say, a really interesting career that spans the pre-Super League and post-Super League early NRL era. It's a shame injury really wrecked the latter half of his career. He could have and should have probably played more games, but injury and that contract dispute in North Queensland, I think, is a blot on his copybook. However, he wins that court case against the North Queensland Cowboys in regards to his contract termination and the chaos in his second season at North Queensland. But his most successful spell and where he's most fondly remembered as a player is at the Cronulla Sharks. And as a coach, obviously, he's very fondly remembered at the North Queensland Cowboys and the Wynnum Manly club in the Brisbane competition as well as a coach, where he was very successful before becoming a head coach in between his spells as an assistant coach at Brisbane and an assistant coach at the Roosters as well. So there we go. There is the career playing and coaching career video of the late Paul Green. And it is obviously quite shocking news. Losing someone so young. He was only 49, but he was a fantastic player and a fantastic coach. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.